Ryan, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Really looking forward for today's episode. It's an industry that is not common, right? It's not
So,
something that is well familiar for all people, but for many people and for many other industries, probably it's a very important part of their day-to-day life, right?
yeah,
So I
definitely.
would love you to introduce who you are and where you're working and what are you working on these days?
Yeah, so I'm Ryan Regan. I'm the director of e-commerce at VKTRY. So we are a carbon fiber insole for athletes and really anybody. Right now, we're really focusing on athletes, trying to be the #1 sports insole in the world, which we do believe we are.
Hmm.
So really, it's an aerospace grade carbon fiber base plate that goes under an EVA top cover. So what this does is it helps you jump higher, land softer, run faster, and some people say most importantly, it helps protect and prevent injuries. So it gives you a nice, firm, stable base that you can push and cut on. And also, like I said, it's helping you land softer. Like it's absorbing your impact and your energy like a spring.
Wow, I'm really impressed with the product and even more impressed with your pitch. It's really
Thanks.
professional. Well done, well done.
Yeah, I hope if the founders listening, you'd
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
they
So
will, they will.
yeah,
It's going to be shared with them, everything, even the transcripts, everything. I promise. But it's really,
great.
really nice. So thank you for this amazing introduction. So where it's all started, I mean, tell us about the company. Is it like I understand that you're running an online presence, you have an e-commerce platform. We will talk a lot about that. Tell us a little bit about the business model, where the idea originated, and what's the company's focusing on in terms of the go-to-markets part of the
Yeah,
business.
so the product was actually designed years ago by our founder Matt Archiolo. So he's a certified podorthist, which is a foot doctor, and at
Mm-hmm.
the time he was working with the USA men's Olympic bobsled team. And he was discussing the whole idea with them of like, he had this idea of carbon fiber into insoles, and he was like, hey, if I could make something that helped increase your speed and your push off as you guys are starting, he's like, is that something you would like? And they're like, that's the difference between gold and not finishing. And
Wow.
so he actually went ahead and designed the insoles that year, put them into their shoes, and they won gold that year. So
Wow.
very, very cool, founder story that we have here. And ever since then, we've, just been really marketing it as this insole that is for athletes. It's the #1
Hmm.
athlete for insoles for athletes. Um, the entire company and business model really changed a few years ago in 2022.
Okay.
Towards the end of the year, we went viral thanks to our great marketing team. I actually wasn't even on the team until a few months after this happened,
Hmm.
but they went viral, and they realized once they stopped focusing on trying to make this an everything insole for nurses, doctors, athletes, everything. When they focused on sports and specifically and very specifically basketball and volleyball, um, it really resonated with our crowd. So we went viral on TikTok towards the end of 2022, and things have been honestly insane since then.
Amazing. Amazing. So the primary effort is like direct to consumers.
Yes, yeah, that's pretty much the only thing we operate right now is just D2C.
Yes. Yes. Amazing. So TikTok was like the channel for your growth, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I hope it doesn't get banned. It's a great,
Yes.
it's a great tool for our business.
Yeah.
We have been diversifying for a long time, so in case anything like that does happen. But no, I mean, TikTok was definitely a very big driver of growth for us, especially in the
Interesting.
beginning.
Interesting. So you use TikTok for obviously brand awareness, impressions. Obviously, you can use TikTok today for conversion, but share with us. And I know you're operating in a multiple of channels. How your ecosystem of channels looks like.
Yeah, so TikTok's definitely our main channel. We have, I believe, 1.1 million followers on that channel now. Um, and really, it's just been, trying to sell but not be too salesy. Like it's
Hmm.
fun content. It's not like, hey, buy this insole, it does this. It's more like we want to make it fun. We have our director, or not our director, our VP of marketing now, Drew Archiolo. He's actually the son of Matt, our founder,
Okay.
and he's the genius behind all of the marketing over there. Him and a couple other guys, and they they have like a couple series that they do. So one of them is how high will it flip? So they put in the insole into certain basketball shoes, and then they try and see how high they flip. And some of
Wow,
when you put our insole in a shoe, we can make it flip like over
really
8 feet in the air. So it's definitely
crazy.
like a very entertaining series. So it was really honestly it was a genius way of showing the energy return benefits that you get with our insole by doing something unique that really grabs people's attention.
Yes, it's interesting, and obviously it requires some kind of a regulation. I mean, the like the different leagues or are asking questions, or there's no one who cares.
No, it's
No,
100% legal.
legal.
Olympic athletes use it. NFL Combine athletes use it.
Wow,
There's no governing body that says you can't use these.
interesting. Good. So TikTok is a main vehicle. Obviously, you have your own site. You're also operating on Amazon. How do you strategize and how do you plan? Definitely from the platform perspective, inventory side, how do you allocate that, and and obviously I understand that the marketing budget's obviously shared between those channels as well, correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, on the site wise, it's something that is it definitely a little bit of a pain point for us.
Mm-hmm.
We are a higher end product with $149 price tag. It is for an insole and something that a lot of people don't even think about in their shoes. I mean, it's
Yes.
almost the price of a pair of shoes. So one of the main things one of the main issues that we deal with on the site is trying to eliminate skepticism.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot of A/B testing on the website. It's something I normally have some kind of test running at almost any time. Just trying to make sure we are giving our customers exactly what they want to see first and foremost, and making it very easy to understand. So when I first got brought on about a year ago, we were very reactive. So anytime we got a review that mentioned, "Hey, what's the difference between your high end product and your slightly lower one?" It's like, well, oh, let's get that front and center at the homepage. Let's move this.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're kind of taking a step back and being like, we want to set up the flow for the customer to see. We don't want to just add in a bunch of information, make it too repetitive, make it too overloading. We just want it to be real simple right now. We
Mm-hmm.
have a 90-day back money guarantee, so we do stand by our product. And even that sometimes isn't enough for people. They're just like, I don't know if it works. It's like, well, you can try it for 90 days. There's
Yeah.
nothing, you can return it at any time for whatever reason. So, that's something that we're always trying to work on is, it does sound, we spoke about it a little bit before, but a little snake oily salesman of, hey, put this thing in your shoe and you can jump higher and run faster. But it's a new technology that people are not familiar with and people are skeptical on it. But it truly does work. And we've seen fantastic results from people using this product.
Yes. So obviously D2C, but there are a few segments, right? So professional athletes, I think we understand the benefits and the values, but regular people like with some orthopedic problems or anything, well, what's the messaging for this type of consumers?
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's a tough thing to say
Yeah.
because we truly believe our product is made for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're focusing on athletes right now because that's where we feel like we can give the most benefits. But this is a great product for anybody who has flat feet, plantar fasciitis, shin splints, whatever. You have knee problems, back
Yeah.
problems. I have bad knees personally. I have them
Mm-hmm.
in all of my shoes now, and I'm spoiled. I don't like the feeling of my shoes without VKTRY insoles in them at this
Okay.
time.
You get some
So
special pricing
Eh,
from
well,
them.
we'll hook you up, and yeah,
Okay.
I get to reap the benefits of working
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. Sure. And the family and the extended family.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're a
Okay.
VKTRY Insole household family now.
Okay. Good. Good.
Um,
So all the
but
employees
no,
are marketeers as well, right? So yeah,
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
important.
So, I mean, yeah, it's tough. We do want to, really get this in the hands of everybody, and we've had some fantastic reviews and stories from people that have had 10 to 20 surgeries on their feet. They'll fly in because Matt actually owns a shoe store in Milford, Connecticut, where we're headquartered,
Mm-hmm.
and people will fly in from states away. So we had a girl fly in from Hawaii just to have her feet looked at by him and get a pair of custom VKTRY insoles for her, and she feels fantastic out on the
Mm-hmm.
field again. So, those types of stories of like basically we're helping, get people back on their feet is, one of the reasons why we do it. We love it.
Yes. So you can get the VKTRY insoles. I mean, as a standalone product based on obviously a foot size or something, but you can also customize that, right?
Yeah, so every pair of just regular VKTRY insoles is already customized to you. So not only are we taking in your shoe size and that kind of stuff, but we're taking in your weight, we're taking in the type of sport that you're playing, and your age. So all of that goes
Hmm.
into how thick of a base plate you're going to have. So someone that's 130 pounds isn't going to have the same type of base plate that a 250-pound athlete is. They're
Got
not
it.
going to, so it's all customized there. But then we also offer a completely customized one that is molded to your shoe, where we send you a box, you put in your shoe imprint, and then we send it back. That's our platinum VKTRY
Wow.
custom orthotics. Yeah.
So the whole process could be experienced or performed online, right? You ship the box.
Yep.
What they do with the box, or how it works.
So these are just the platinums. The
Yes.
regular gold VKs, those are just, they come in your regular box. You try them
Hmm.
on. If you need to exchange anything, we give you a free return label. You can exchange it. Sometimes it doesn't fit
Okay.
into your shoe quite as good. You just exchange it for a slightly different size. But
Hmm.
with the custom platinum orthotics, we send you a molded box to your house. You step in the mold, and then you send it back to us. We use a machine to completely customize a top cover
Wow.
to your foot, and then we put our patented carbon fiber base on the bottom.
Interesting. So you mentioned the foot size, the age, the type of sport that you practice. So it's kind of we have a lot of variation, right? In every
Oh
type
yeah,
of yeah,
lots. So that's
lots.
why it's tough that kind of go into a retail.
Hmm.
You'd have hundreds of SKUs for it
Hundreds of SKUs. Yeah,
just because it goes between different ones. So it's definitely a D2C product right now, just with
got
how
it. Yeah, this was my
customizable.
next question, by the way, about offline, right? If you're planning retail, but
We've talked about it. Not not really at this point. Our silver VKTRY insole is a little bit less customized than our gold, and
okay.
we've kind of thought about maybe that being potential retail one. But yeah, I mean right now it's just tough with how many different SKUs you'd have and stuff. It really just is better to live online
Yes,
right now.
yes. You mentioned about trying to be more proactive in terms of customer journeys in the website, not be reactive on every questions that comes up and change accordingly, which makes a lot of sense, and obviously it shows that you are more mature in the data that you have and the information of how your consumers are expecting to purchase. But how do you make those decisions? I mean, what information do you collect, and how do you take decisions around this topic?
Yeah, so I A/B test pretty much everything before we put it on the site. We
Hmm.
use Shopify as our platform, so one of the one of the tools I use is called Shoplift.
Yeah.
So I'll have our page the way it is, and then I'll make changes to it, and I'll split the traffic that goes to that page
Hmm.
50-50 for one half of the other, one half to the new. And I'm just looking for results. So I'm looking at, the conversion rate on that page. I'm looking for the revenue that it drives. I'm looking for how long people are engaged on that page. And, just looking at that kind of data. And that's how I, make my decision. So if I see an incremental lift of, 3%, this page converted 3% better, it's like, oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I've personally noticed for our brand, we talked about it a little earlier, is of eliminating skepticism. Anytime I moved any reviews up higher onto the page for the customers to see it first or
Hmm.
quicker, it performed better every single time.
Got
So
it.
we originally had reviews a little bit further down on the page, but once we moved that like right to the first thing you almost see, it started performing a lot better, converting at a higher rate.
And how, anytime when you do these changes, and it sounds that you do quite a lot of changes on an ongoing basis, this is kind of easy, or are you using an agency, or Shopify provide you tools like a team builder or something to create all these implementations on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, so we have a web developer who works with us, and then we also have a designer as well. So
Yeah.
we'll kind of work on what we kind of envision the page looking in, really acting, and then we'll test it after that. So we have an idea of like what we want to do before we actually make the test. And then when it comes to like other smaller things and stuff like that, it's really easy. Shoplift makes it incredibly easy to actually just change little things. It's like you're just
Okay.
changing like a regular,
Yes.
stuff on your theme anyway. Not really like
Interesting.
coding or anything.
Yeah. And what about, user experience is a big topic, and I think you're obviously testing a lot in terms of the marketing messages and, reducing skepticism, as you said. Are you making updates as well to change for different scripts, for different messages?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I would say our core messaging, jump higher, run faster, protect from injury is like kind of our main taglines that we're not really
Hmm.
messing with. But in terms of, we've really seen that our product is really built for younger athletes. So our teenagers to our young 20s is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of found that they care more about performing better than they do about preventing the injury. That's almost like just a bonus for them.
Okay.
But a lot of the times people buying this product are actually the parents, and they care more about the preventing the injury from increasing it.
Yes.
So, it's something that we've kind of messed around with even in our paid advertising and stuff. It's something that I'm pretty excited about with like AI just in general, because
Hmm.
you can give people different pages and stuff that they are based on their behaviors in the past. So we could see something like, oh, this is an older person coming to our site, let's show them more injury protection type of stuff. Oh, this is a younger audience, let's show them more performance based, because that's going to help sell them. So it's pretty interesting to see what AI is going to be coming out with the next couple of years.
Yes, yes. And you mentioned AI and the use case of this personalized page, right? This is something that you do today?
It's not entirely. It's
Yeah.
something we are doing little tests and stuff with. We do have like SMS where we do have some like AI that's, when you're talking to us, maybe a little discount to help you push you along,
Uh-huh.
things like that. And then yeah, on our pages, we are setting up with a couple companies here moving forward in the next couple
Yes.
months to help sequence, or sort out different people based on the traffic to different
Yes.
pages.
What are your thoughts about AI in e-commerce and where do you think it's heading?
Oh, I think you got to use it at this point.
It's not going anywhere, right?
It's definitely not going anywhere, and honestly, it makes your job much easier. It really does.
Wow. Okay.
I know it's like a scary new thing where people are hesitant about it, but it really does make your lives a lot easier, and that's what we're here in e-commerce is trying to do. Is you want to sell more online, it's easy. So
Yes. Yes. So in what respect do you see this actually implemented in your environment? Is it more on introducing quickly new features, or it's on the cost reduction side, on the staffing side? How do you see this evolving?
I'm definitely on all
Yeah.
phases. I think it's going to come everywhere. It's right now for us personally. I think it is features and look and feel on our site first,
Hmm.
but it's definitely going to make its way onto everything else in the back end, cost reductions, everything like that.
By the way, I love your website. I think
Oh,
it's amazing.
thank you.
I
It's
want to
great.
buy. What do I buy?
Great. I hope I hope some
And I
people
see
that
a
work with
lot.
are
Believe me,
listening.
I see a lot. It
Yeah.
looks really good. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So how the customer journey, happens? What are the, time to purchase? What are the major milestones or within this process?
Yeah, so our customer journey is pretty unique. Like I said, teenagers make up a huge portion of our market,
Hmm.
and it really starts with social media. So people see us on social either or on organic or our paid ads. They get a little interested, so they come to our site. They look around and they're like, "Hey, this is pretty cool. Let me send, oh, it's $150. Well, it's got to go to the parents because they got
Yeah,
to buy it. I'm not spending $150 of my money on it." So
sure.
they go to mom or dad and they see if they'll make the purchase for them. Um, but yeah, I mean, so it, talking on that, it's also very interesting to think like I look at conversion rate a lot of like, oh, this our conversion rate needs to be higher, but for us conversion rate isn't a really great metric to look at, because I'd probably say close to half the people that come to our site are not coming to actually make that purchase right away. They're coming to look at it and then send it right over to their parents.
Hmm.
So it's always about, kind of taking your own metrics that you think are more important. But yeah, I mean, the customer journey definitely starts on social with the young athlete who sees it, shows it to their parents, and then they hopefully, go make the purchase for them.
Okay, so what happens if you can be like a fly on a wall during this meeting that the teenager comes to his parents? What happens in this discussion usually?
So we see it all the time. We go to this camp called Rivals, and this is like a
Okay.
mini NFL combine, but it's for kids going into college.
Hmm.
So they get their they get their vert, their speed. They do drills and stuff like that, and we have a little booth set where we try and sell and just get our name out there. And exactly what happens is the kids see it and they're like, "Oh, I've seen this. I see the shoe flip on social.
Nice.
they're like, oh, that these are awesome, and so they bring them over, and then we talk to the parents, and they're like, well, what is this? It's $150 insole, and then we give them the spiel of it returns your energy like a spring, it jumps higher, run faster, and it helps protect from injury. Um, once people though really get these in their hands, the sale is almost done for them or for us, just because it is an incredibly unique product, and once you do put it into your shoes, you feel an immediate difference. And
Mhm.
the look on these kids faces when they put them in, and they're like, oh man, like they feel
Wow.
bouncy, they feel lighter, and then the
Nice.
parents look at them and they're like, oh, like you really like these, and they're like, yeah, like these are really good. And so really getting them into their shoes sells it for us, because it
Yeah.
is, like I said, it really is an incredible product, and not something that you'd normally think about, but you got to take care of your feet.
Wow, it's really amazing journey. I mean, obviously the parents are paying, but they're not aware that they need such a product until, the kid comes and say, "Hey, I need it." Right?
Exactly. Kids are good at that. They're good at saying,
Yeah.
hey, I need this.
Really interesting. Really interesting. So, in terms of the current Shopify Plus implementation that you have, this is something that was there from day one, or it was switched from
Yeah.
a different platform? Yeah, it's from the get
Yeah,
go.
they've been with Shopify for years now.
Yes, obviously, probably they took a very good decision day one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Shopify's great.
Yes.
It does exactly what we need it to be. We don't need it to be anything super crazy.
Hmm.
Um, it does exactly what we need it.
Great, great. And in terms of some of the marketing activities that you do, obviously you mentioned paid media, you mentioned the TikTok effect, right? What else are you also working with the influencers, or what in general the type of marketing activities that you found valuable and do?
So influencer marketing is a giant part of our budget. We actually
Okay.
just increased it by, I think, close to 100% compared to last year's.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so we have probably hundreds of influencers that we work with.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, especially right now in today's like kind of climate with social and everything. Um, that's
Cookie
what people want to see.
deprecation. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, yeah, people want to see people that they trust and they like online, and they want to see an honest opinion from it. So a lot of our stuff, I wouldn't call them micro influencers, but they have their 15, their 20,000 influencers or
Mm-hmm.
their followers,
Mm-hmm.
and those just perform so incredibly well for us. We have a kid who's like just a high school volleyball player in California, and he's amazing. His content is great. People love him. Like, his little promo code generates thousands of revenue for us. Like,
Wow.
it's awesome. And so, kids really, especially younger audiences, want to see their peers using and seeing this type of stuff and talking about it. So yeah, influencer marketing, in addition to all of our paid and all the classic channels that you would talk about, influencer marketing is a huge portion of that for us.
Great. And probably you are building more of a longer term relationship with those influencers, right? They are becoming like a brand advisors. They're probably helping you with new launches. It's
Oh
much
yeah.
more than right.
Oh yeah, no, we've been working with some influencers for a couple years, some that just
Wow.
started. We have them across every different sport too. We have basketball, volleyball, football, track. We really have, soccer influencers. We have everything. We're starting to actually build out our own channels unique to each one of those sports. So
Yes.
VKTRY in volleyball, VKTRY in soccer,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it's huge. It's a giant portion, and I only see us committing more to influencers
More.
over the next couple years.
And that growth specifically with influencers is because of the cookie deprecation or some other things, but you found it's the most ROI, uh, channel. ROI is the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. I mean, honestly, you can't touch it for us.
Hmm.
Our just CPMs and stuff with that kind of stuff. The amount of eyes that we get for sometimes what we pay for is crazy.
Yes.
And we take a lot of pride in the influencers that we work with because we want people that genuinely love our product and want to use it, and that's who we've really found. We have the best relationships with is people that really love the product, that they come to us with ideas of like for videos and stuff, and we're like, oh, that's a great idea.
Hmm.
We don't want to handhold you through the entire process and be like, oh, make this type of video. Don't just be
Yeah.
like, I love Victory Insoles and hold it up and be like, that's not the way that influencer
Yeah.
marketing works anymore. It did a few
Sure.
years ago, but you need to be clever now. You need to have you need to disguise these quote unquote ads
Hmm.
as fun content. So working with people who actually like the product and enjoy working with us, it is our best relationships.
Nice. Nice. What else on the marketing side that you are doing?
I mean, we have our regular search, our Google stuff. We have
Hmm.
Meta, we have TikTok. Um, but I would say one thing that we just did, which was one of our biggest activations to date, was one of our athletes, Mac McClung, who just repeated as dunk champion. So we worked with him last year, right before he went to the dunk contest, and
Hmm.
we had great results. So it was it was the most search time in the company's history on Google for those first few days when people didn't know anything about us. And
Wow.
then this year we wanted to go really big as he was coming back. So we launched, a couple weeks before, we had a couple riddles and everything, but we launched this $500,000 Mac Souls giveaway.
Hmm.
So we just gave away $500,000 worth of these customized limited edition Mac Victory Insoles. And,
Yes.
we had, I think the final number was like 156,000 people try and sign up to win a free
Wow.
pair. So
Wow.
that was definitely one of our coolest and our most recent activation that we just got done basically a month ago, and now we have 165 or 156,000 more people to market to, through email that
Amazing.
we didn't have before.
Amazing. Really amazing. What about social commerce, shoppable media, all these new trends? Are you experimenting or considering selling on social?
So with how customized our product is, it doesn't really work like that
Hmm.
right now. So we've tried like TikTok Shop, but it's just the way that they have it set up. It's not like hey, just add to cart. We can't do that with our product. Like I said, we need to know your weight, your sport,
Yeah.
your shoe size. It
Yeah. And
just doesn't really.
you can't get to this level of granularity on the platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right
Got it.
now, I mean, with how big we are in social, of course, we want to be able to sell, but we're probably a year or two out from when it's would be available to us.
Interesting. Wow. Look, I mean, Ryan, I see you throughout this interview, and you are smiling all the way through. So I think you really like this stuff, right?
Oh, I couldn't be happier with the job that I have now, the people I work with. I know it's a cliche to kind of say all that, but I've been looking for this job for a while. The people and the team that we have is second to none. We really have a good time, and we all work really hard. It's been fantastic,
Nice.
and it's nice working for a product in the company that you really believe in. It makes working easy, honestly.
But this was probably completely different when you introduced to the opportunity of working with Victory, right? Probably it sounds strange at the beginning, but now it's like completely the other way around, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was odd, interviewing and being like, "Oh, what you make a carbon fiber insole that makes you run faster and jump higher?" I was like, "Okay." I was like,
Okay, let me
is this
think
a
about it.
scam?" I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, "I'm cool. I'll sell a scam. That's fine. I don't want
yeah,
to, but I want a
yeah.
new job, so sure." It's like, but they're like, "No, like this is incredible." They gave me research. They gave me a pair of insoles. And I was a believer as soon as I put them in my shoes, and I truly do believe
It's
that.
the
When
best experience.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It's great.
nice. Ryan, what are you proud of in your career?
Oh, it's a good question. So I'm very proud of, I'm really self-taught in everything. I went to school for biology. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
not, yeah, biological sciences at Texas Tech. So,
Wow.
obviously not really using that piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but probably like almost 10 years ago, my stepdad was working with this brewing company. It's called Twisted X Brewing Company, and he needed somebody to help design some beer cans. And he asked if I knew anybody, and I was like, I think I could do it. I was like, give me the weekend to learn Adobe Illustrator, and I was like, I think I'll be able to do it. And so, I spent the whole weekend learning how to do that. Ended up designing, I think, like 8 to 9 beer cans for them, and then went over to take over their social media and design their website.
Wow.
And that's just kind of how I got started in my career. Was I started designing beer cans, and then they were like, hey, our website kind of stinks, do you know anything about that? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And so I started learning how to build a website, and then they're like, oh, well, our social media we need some help with. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll seems easy enough. And
Wow.
started to do that. So definitely picking up a bunch of new stuff, and with having no experience and just learning as you go, it was something I really liked and very proud of.
Wow, it's really great. I mean, you have that mentality of always do more than what you have been paid for, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's what you got to do. It's a
yeah.
it's a good
Look,
worker
but
bee.
if we look also the future of jobs, right, in e-commerce or probably any other industry, that continuous learning and self-learning is a must, right?
Yeah.
Is a
Oh,
must to
definitely.
succeed.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, I think you should always be trying to learn something new. Teach yourself something new. Get yourself out of your comfort zone, because that's when you learn and you grow.
yeah. And hey, try to find a college, a university where you can make a degree in e-commerce. It's not easy, not
Yeah.
easy to find,
Yeah. Exactly.
not easy to find. Great, right? So we are at the fun fact part of the episode.
All right.
Okay, so we'd love to hear some interesting story about you.
Yeah, so it's about 6 or 7 years ago. My friend asked me if I wanted to buy a school bus and turn it into an RV and travel around the country. And I laughed at him. I
Okay.
was like, "Yeah, man, that sounds like a great idea. Like, what you're going through a midlife crisis
Yeah.
already at age 25?" And he's just like,
Yeah.
"No," and he's like, "No, I'm dead serious." And he explained. He's like, "Look, I found a bus for $2,500, and it's in good shape." He's like, "And I
Wow.
think we could build it." And I was like, "All right." And so I got off the phone. An hour later, I called him, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And so we bought the
Wow.
bus literally like the next day. And we spent about 8 or 9 months turning it into an RV, teaching ourselves the whole way. Like, we weren't carpenters, we weren't electricians or plumbers doing any of this. So, we learned and taught ourselves how to do everything. And then we traveled around the country for 4 months in the bus,
Wow.
hitting,
Amazing.
yeah, we went to 23 different national parks, countless state parks, national monuments, cities. We started in Texas. We hit every state west of Texas, and yeah, it was an incredible time.
Wow. That bus is still around, still working?
Unfortunately, it's not.
It's
It's harder to stow and keep a bus than you would think. It's you
okay.
you can't just park it on the side of the road, because then you
Yeah.
get little warnings, and they're like, hey, you have to move this school bus. We're like,
Hmm.
well, what do we do with it? And we're like, well, we want to keep it. And I was like, well, we're not really going anywhere in it, so we
Yeah.
couldn't just keep it for like weekend trips like we wanted to anymore. So we ended up having to sell it, but
Got
it
it.
lives with me in spirit.
So it was a good flip at the end of the day also.
I mean, we lost a couple $1,000s, but actually not bad
Not
for
bad.
didn't break the bank completely.
Yes. By the way, you
Yeah.
have pictures or videos you can share with
Oh,
us?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'd love to put it in the show notes, so please
Oh,
do.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ryan, great. Anything else you want to add?
No, I really appreciate everything. This was, thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting. Really love the product. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. See you soon, Brian.
Awesome. Thanks, Eitan.
Bye bye.